the new one and the Screams channel, because I'm gonna slowly work my way down. The Sinatra Says channel will be left. That will be left to just kind of fall into oblivion. It sucks, man. It really sucks, and I get really emotional every time I talk about this. But I've built that channel from the ground up over the course of 6 or 7 years. I've had that, built it, uploaded to it, and that was my baby. That was my thing. And then YouTube just one day went, you know what? Nah. But, you know, if it died a graceful death and just slowly over time people stopped watching, they just weren't interested in what I was doing, that'd be one thing. But I got demonetized the first time, the second or third Adpocalypse. I got demonetized and instantly. My videos went from getting 100-something thousand views per to 10 to 15 to 20. So that stinks. Hello. Why? My jacket. But yeah, you know, it's almost like you threaten them. They don't silence people who are just Sin is just doing YouTube New Game Plus. That's pretty good. They don't silence people who are just doing dumb shit. Like, you don't see the porn ads getting demonetized. You don't see the what's in my butt channels getting taken down. No, that's not what happens. That's not at all what happens. But yes, I encourage everyone to go to the new channel, because I will slowly work my way down. And once that's all done, the Sinatra Says channel will be left. I'll put up one video. It'll be a thank you, and that will be it. But that's not that time yet. It's not there yet, so I'm not doing that yet. But I get a little misty talking about it. And you know, I genuinely don't know if I'm getting upset about the fact that it happened, or how much effort and time and money and this, that, and the third I put into that channel just for them to go, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I don't know what gets me the most upset, but oh well, it doesn't matter. This is Christmas. We're supposed to be happy, darn it. Of course, the narrative protect. Yeah, you have to do that. The what channels? You've never heard of those channels? There are channels, and I've shown one of them before, and I got a strike for showing the channel for sexually explicit content. Thank you, dear. I got a strike for showing the channel for it being sexually explicit content. It's these two guys, and they are very, very clearly gay. And one guy bends over, and the other guy just puts like different stuff in his butt. And they're like, well, okay, what is it? What kind of dildo is it? Is that a butt plug? What did I just put in there? And it was on my... Oh, let me see if I can find a thumbnail, because I can't show the video. Maybe I could find a thumbnail. Oh, here's one of them. This one is called... Oh, wait. Let me just pull it up. This is called the What's in My Butt Challenge. And this is the thumbnail for it. Monetized and acceptable. Not age restricted at all, actually. PG, clean, family friendly fun. So this is perfectly okay. That's perfectly fine. It says that in the description too, by the way. I don't know if you can see it. Well, full screen. Yeah, there we go. PG, clean, family friendly fun. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's a nice try, but I don't agree. I just don't agree. Let me see if I can pull up another one. Oh yeah. Go back. Go to YouTube search. Search as plain text. What in the butt is the first thing that comes up. Oh, here's another one. The What's Up My Butt Challenge, British Gay Porn Star Edition. And No restricted based on YouTube guidelines, nothing. That's perfectly fine. 1.5 million subscribers on that channel. That's good. Here's another one. Real What's Up My Butt Challenge. 500,000 views. 3 years ago. Age restricted. So they uploaded this without age restricting it. But the community guidelines age restricted it. A channel with, it's the same one, 1.5 million subs. That's perfectly fine. Still making money off of it. Just because it's age restricted doesn't mean it's not making money. Here's another one. Same channel. Wipe My Butt Prank on My Boyfriend. And then Butthole Surfers. So you get the point. That's all perfectly fine. That is all perfectly fine. Straight up porn on YouTube. No problem. But somebody talking about, current events, that's the issue. That's the issue. That they're questioning things that they should just believe wholesale. Demonetize, ban, restrict, save the people, you fucking cunts. Here's some monies to help out with the aforementioned channel that is just subscribed to. Thank you so much, User Unknown. Appreciated, buddy. Getting us on our way to the goal. Anyway, we got some stuff to get into. The Butthole Surfers are rad, though. That is true. I do like the Butthole Surfers. Sin, give the people what they want. Let Shelly put stuff in you. No, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. You don't agree with the current thing, so you're a bad man. Bad man. That's true. Anyway, yes, I will bring it up. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to pin the Discord in the chat on Sinatra Says, so you can give that a thing. If I can find someone shilling the slabs link, I will pin that on the new channel, because YouTube won't let you put links in a new channel unless you verify your address or put your ID number in there. You verify your address, you upload a picture of your ID with the ID number visible, or you grow it organically. Like, yeah, I'm going to wait. I'll let it grow organically. That's fine. I'll do that. Oh, man. And I feel like a gatekeeping piece of shit whenever somebody goes, hold on one second. It went well. She said she would get back to me tomorrow with a suggestion from her. Sorry about that. Yeah, you have to pretty much just put all your information on there or grow it organically. That they said, well, this will take a day. This will take like 2 days, or you can wait like 4 months to grow your channel organically. I'm like, oh, you're a motherfucker. So I'm just waiting. I don't need to put a link that badly that I have to give YouTube my ID and verify my home address. I don't need to do it that bad. I do not need to do it that badly. But that's it. We got to get into the TWERK, guys. So please, your state ID. No, like your federal ID, like your identification number. Guys, please share the stream out. Hit the like button. Sin, you can't forget the nude yoga channels. You're right. I can't, which I obviously cannot show here. Please smash the like button wherever you may be watching. The new channel, that's math. The Screams channel is not math. And the Sinatra Says channel is also not math. So guys, smash the like, share it out, hit up the Streamlabs if you feel so inclined. It is greatly appreciated right now, especially. It's the holidays, Christmas buying, all that, whatnot. Man, I don't even know if I want to talk about this. I went to the store today. Mom said, Matt, go to the store. And I was on my way. On your way to the store. I went to the store, and they had a bottle of, it's like bourbon and scotch blended Glenmorangie. And I saw that, and I was like, oh, how much is that? And the guy looks, and he goes, $180. I said, never mind. But I saw that, I'm like, damn, that's probably really fucking good. That's probably really good. But yeah, no, I can't even afford that. Even if someone hit a comma tonight, I still can't afford that shit. But let me just check the accuracy of this before I spit it out like a dummy. Oh, we're updating Steam. That's lovely. Thanks, Steam. I had a flow going there, and you just had to do that. That's wonderful. Thank you. 777 isn't worthy of being Stream Boss. No, $5 would make you Stream Boss, I think. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Boom. We have a new Pinky Sam and Kama song if someone wants to hit that. We have one new one, and I am feeling generous. $180 scotch is still in the mid-range. Yes, but yes. But nobody who's going to a liquor store in the ghetto is paying more than, nobody there is buying scotch, really. If I'm going bourbon hunting, I go to the place that sells the most pints of Hennessy if you're picking up what I'm laying down. But yeah, that is mid-range for a scotch. It is really hard to find an excellent scotch. They exist, but it's really hard to find an excellent one. Anyway, if anyone decides to do that, we got one new song, and then we could do another on the way out. But don't let me forget that... Don't let me forget this time, motherfuckers. All right, smash, like, share out, do the slabs. Let's get to it.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. We begin with an unexpected Fox News alert. Just moments ago, Barry Weiss of...
Fuck, yes, tier... Bad Sinatra, you must think your tires don't die this winter. Yeah, I do have to do that. That's a chunk of change. That's $500.
Substack began posting part 2 of the Twitter files. Now, these are assessments of internal documents from Twitter that have been hidden under... Out around belly, a bowl full of chili. I eat all them cookies. I'm Santa Claus. I raise such a clatter, you'll see what's the matter. I fill up your stocking. I'm Santa Claus. Here comes Santa. Here comes Santa. Have you been a good girl this year?
I love that.
But are now...
Mr. Walrus for the 60, no comment. Thank you, sir. Speaking of winter, did you see the forecast for the end of the week? All I'm seeing here is cold. I haven't... Cleveland weather 10-day. Oh, Saturday, cold snow. Friday, cold snow. Sunday, cold snow. What are the percentages? 70%, 50, 30. 70, 50, 30. It's winter.
Being exposed by Elon Musk, who just bought the company. So first, Musk...
Ham and beans, thank you. I almost like... Oh, shit. No way. Did they really tweet that out? Oh, fuck. The official Ohio Regional Sewer District tweeted this out. Oh, that's good. That's pretty good. Yeah, dude, if they're... And Twitter is definitely the #1 communication platform for politicians, but I have no doubt in my mind that they were absolutely doing this with YouTube. I am probably in an email somewhere from the federal government to YouTube. I guarantee you I am, because fuck those guys.
Last week gave a trove of documents to...
Figured Ohio was going to get hit hard considering the high temp for me. Thursday is 11. I think mine is 13, but that doesn't count for wind chill. 13 is the high for Saturday, Friday, 22. But Thursday, we're going to be in the high 40s, probably into 50. So, I mean, yeah, whatever.
Matt Taibbi of Substack and now to Barry Weiss. Weiss is unpacking all of this right now live on Twitter in a Twitter thread. What she has revealed so far confirms what many suspected but none knew for certain, which is that Twitter routinely censored prominent critics of the Biden administration, did so in secret without telling anyone, and with no factual justification whatsoever. This is known as shadow banning. Twitter did it all the time. Now, publicly, they denied doing it. People who were being shadow banned suspected something was up, but they didn't know. Now, officially, Twitter's chief legal officer, chief censor at Twitter, Vegeta, who was rewarded by the Biden administration for her work on their behalf, said that, quote, "We do not shadow ban, and we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideologies." That's what she said. That was a lie. And the documents that Bari Weiss is posting right now, including screenshots of Twitter's internal censorship tools, prove that it was a lie. One of Twitter's targets for shadow banning was a Stanford professor, a physician PhD called Jay Bhattacharya, one of the most impressive people in American medicine, someone we've had on this show many, many times. There was no justification for censoring Jay Bhattacharya, except he was one of the authors of the Great Barrington Declaration, which very early in the so-called pandemic infuriated our country's public health establishment, including Tony.
Yeah, because, you know, if you're not doing the thing, you're a bad person or whatever. I don't know. It is very interesting to me to know that the government can step in and go, yeah, we don't want the public talking about this. Like, hey, man, I thought that was the entire point about the, you know, the whole freedom of speech thing.
Fauci, by opposing COVID lockdowns. Jay Bhattacharya has spent his career studying the health effects of various policies on vulnerable populations. So he knew that COVID lockdowns would harm children, and he said so. That has turned out to be true. But Twitter, doubtless at the request of the authorities, shadow banned Professor Bhattacharya of Stanford for saying this out loud. They prevented his tweets from trending, and that meant that most users could not see his tweets, though they were factual. Twitter also shadow banned Fox's Dan Bongino. According to Weiss, Twitter at one point slapped Bongino with a search ban. That made it impossible for users of Twitter to find tweets by Dan Bongino. Because they were inaccurate? No. Because they were accurate. That was the crime. That's
yeah. Again, they don't ban people for telling lies. I don't know how much more clear it can be.
Always the crime. They never punish you for lying. They only punish you for telling the truth.
Yeah.
Twitter also flagged Charlie Kirk's account with a "Do Not Amplify" tag. Weiss reports that, quote, "the group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team, Global Escalation Team, or SRT-GET. The team often handled up to 200 separate cases a day." Another group within Twitter called Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support, notice the bureaucratic handles here, it's like the military, that group also handled shadow banning. And that group included GODFATHER, as well as Twitter executives Yoel Roth and Parag Agrawal, who ran the company. None of this has been previously known. It was never disclosed to the public. Weiss's thread is ongoing. It's being updated as we speak, and of course, we'll bring you more information as we get it. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our...
To be honest, none of this should be surprising. Everyone should know that these are all of these people are literally just in it for themselves. That's it. That what they can do at that moment to be profitable, what they can do at that moment to somehow get more money or get more clicks, you know, you name it, whatever it is. But the problem is they think that they can just do it ad nauseum. They can just do it and it will never be used against them. And that's really where the outrage and the anger and all that stuff starts, is when it is used against them. They were perfectly fine with Twitter censoring and banning literally everyone. They were perfectly fine with that. But the minute it started being used against them, Elon Musk is a fascist, Elon Musk is an asshole, etc., etc., etc. A user unknown for reasons. Yeah. I don't blame you. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
One of the accounts on Twitter that we just learned was shadow.
What? I need some quick maths. How do we turn 6969 into 69696?
Banned very aggressively was an account called Libs of TikTok. Now, there's a reason they censored it, because it's one of the most important accounts on Twitter. There are very few opinions expressed on this Twitter feed. It is almost entirely video, real video, no one disputes that it's real, showing what is happening inside classrooms where your children are being taught, hospitals where your loved ones are being treated, all over the country. So Twitter, on the basis of what justification? None, prevented Libs of TikTok from trending. That means many people never saw what Libs of TikTok posted. According to Barry Weiss, an internal Twitter memo from October of 2022, after Libs of TikTok's 7th suspension, admitted that the account, Libs of TikTok, was not breaking any rule. The memo said this, quote, acknowledge that Libs of TikTok is not directly engaged in behavior violative of hateful conduct policy.
Violative?
So they didn't actually
I don't think violative is a word, but I do get what you're saying.
do anything wrong. But Twitter censors kept censoring and shadow banning the account Libs of TikTok anyway, because according to the memo, Libs of TikTok, quote, either leads to or intends to incite harassment, specifically against hospitals that are castrating children. Now that memo...
How dare they do that to hospitals that are mutilating kids? How dare?
Was prepared by Twitter's senior leadership, including its CEO and head of legal, Vegeta. The person who runs Libs of TikTok joins us now by phone. I sure appreciate your coming on. So you must have had some sense that you were being, well, you were suspended multiple times, but that you were being censored in ways they weren't telling you. Did you sense this was happening?
Hi, TWERKK. Great to be back. Yes, I absolutely sensed that I was being censored. I have a very large account. I never was able to trend, and now we find out I was on a trend blacklist. There were sometimes days or weeks at a time where I felt like my tweets were getting much less engagement than usual, than they should. And I think now it's clear that there was suppression and there were shadow banning.
What's so infuriating about this specific example is that you were reporting. I mean, you weren't an...
I wouldn't even say that she was reporting. She was just downloading and re-uploading videos without context. At least that's what I saw.
And our viewers can verify this for themselves if they just go onto your account. You're not actually putting a lot of your own views in here. You're disseminating reported material whose authenticity no one doubts. So you're doing what the New York Times claims it does, but you're actually doing it unlike them. What could possibly be the justification for censoring you?
Hey, Christ.
Well, I think it's clear that their views, when spread, they don't stand up to scrutiny. And when I spread their views in their own words, they don't want you to see it because they don't stand up to scrutiny. And it makes them look bad, and that's what they're really scared of. And the craziest part of this whole thing is that they admitted that I'm not even violating the policies, and they still suspended me 7 times.
But that's the thing, is you don't need to violate policies. You just need to talk about the thing that they don't want you to talk about. Why do you think I got fucked over? I don't have any strikes on any of my channels, but I'm still not advertiser friendly. I'm still not algorithm friendly. I'm not violating policies. My channel would have been deleted.
Time, 3 of which were for a week at a time. So I was suspended for probably a month altogether. And for what? For not even violating their policies. Just because they don't like their own views. They don't want you to see it.
What's up, Sin? Tucker Tuesday's back. It's Tucker Tuesday never went away. I'm just on a different channel, and I suggest everyone go subscribe to the new one. Linked in the Discord, not in the chat, because I don't want it linked in the chat. So, the thing, smash a like, because, you know, YouTube obviously hiding everything that I do, because I'm a very bad man. I'm a very, very bad man. Smash the like share it out. And if you feel so inclined, please do hit up the slabs. As far as I know, there's only one mystery donation, and that's the McKinley. If you want to get in on that thing, that's how you get the thing. And, of course...
Fuck them kids, bro. Man.
And, of course, you know, Comic Club, 2 songs, whatever. How old Twitter feels with kids... How old Twitter feels like... Huh? Kids being hurt and indoctrinated by our heroes, or, I mean, teachers. Yes, M4 Sherman.
That's exactly right. They were hiding, you exposed them, they crush you. And we should say this is not a hobby. I mean, you've devoted your life to this, and we're glad that you have. We will talk to you soon. Libs of TikTok, good to see you. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel. Well, speaking of lying that's happening right in front of us, it has been more than a month since Paul Pelosi was attacked in his home on a Friday night in San Francisco. The assailant, we know who he was. He was a hippie nudist called David DePape, who we're told was some sort of right-wing extremist, despite being apparently a Black Lives Matter fan. According to NBC News, Paul Pelosi didn't seem afraid of DePape, even after...
Can we... Because, guys, they absolutely were not having gay sex. That 100% was not happening. DePape and Paul Pelosi were not... Are you hearing me? Not having gay sex. He was clearly a right-wing extremist, and then we just stopped talking about the story.
Police arrived. In fact, he opened the door for the cops himself.
Where on the server can I find the channel? Well, that will be in check pinned messages, I believe. Yeah, click on pinned messages, and you'll see a couple of links to it. It's right up there.
So what exactly happened in the Pelosi house that night? Well, there have been a lot of conspiracy theories about it, and people who've put those forward have been attacked for it. You're crazy. So there's one way to end this debate immediately, and it would be a constitutional way to end it. In fact, we should be demanding it, and that's to see the body.
All right, fake gamer cat, calm down. Oh, you guys are getting fucking raunchy over there. Jeez.
Body cam footage from that night. Because these police are public servants. They work for the rest of us. They have no right to hide that. But the police, for some reason, have refused to release that body cam footage. We get body cam footage every day in the news business.
I guarantee you it's because Paul Pelosi
Oh,
was
Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen.
Oh, God, I love that one. I'm keeping the theme. Wait, what did that say? I'm keeping the theme going. Thank you, user unknown. Appreciate it. Ah, very good.
But they won't release this. And not only will they not release it, they are intent on not releasing it. In DePape's federal court case, a judge...
It's 100% because Paul Pelosi was naked. I just fucking... Just admit it.
Just issued a protective order banning the release of sensitive information in this case, and that would include the body cam footage. What is going on here? Why are they hiding this? Is there a good reason? We don't know. Larry Elder ran for governor of California, a state in which he lives and has lived for many years. He joins us tonight to assess what's going on here. Larry Elder, thanks for coming on. What do you think this is? Why can't we just end this conversation with the evidence that we have a right to see?
Of course, we're speculating, but somebody does not want somebody to know what really happened that day. I don't know. The NBC reporter who reported that Pelosi calmly opened the door, said he had a hammer in his hand and calmly walked back. That guy got suspended. So we don't really know what's happening. We haven't seen any footage. We haven't seen any audio. We don't know what the witnesses are saying. Maybe Paul Pelosi knew the guy.
Maybe. Is that really what we're doing? Maybe he knew him. Come on. 56709. Let me pull that up here. Just get shut down.
Today is Christmas. Happy birthday.
I'm somewhat in a Jack Daniels bottle right now. God damn. So somewhat bad writing. Tomorrow is my day off after working 8 days in a row. I'm not reading the rest of that, but it ends in Minecraft. So I think we all get the message there. I would like to crack into a bottle But they're all over there, and I want an old-fashioned I'm not getting up right now. But Paul Pelosi had his back door smashed in by a burglar, right? Right? Thank you, Matt Barr. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What happened to the short videos? I took everything down just to cover my ass.
Nancy Pelosi knew the guy.
New channel is linked in the Discord. Yes, it is called The Silent Sin.
Maybe Paul invited him in. We just don't know. All I know is that the official story that we've heard, which is very simple, this guy broke into Paul Pelosi's house and attacked him, does not appear to be the case. Otherwise, why so secretive? Why not tell what's going on? Why the gag order? I've never seen anything like this in a criminal case.
What's infuriating, I mean, I should just say, I think Paul Pelosi's a very nice man. I've met him and I like Paul Pelosi. So I'm not interested in what Paul Pelosi was doing there. And I wouldn't be doing this story with you right now if they hadn't used it to attack their...
Old fashions are great. I know. That's why I want one. But I can't get up. I'm in the middle of a show.
Political opponents. Oh, this is January 6th and the right wing is attacking the Pelosi family. I mean, they use this story to attack their political opponents. So we have an absolute right and obligation to get to the bottom of it, correct?
That's right. I said something snarky about it after I made sure that Paul Pelosi was going to recover fully, and I was attacked, and other conservatives were attacked for speculating that something might have gone wrong or something might be different than what they're telling us. So you're quite right. We ought to know what the story is. But we were attacked. It was used to show how insensitive and cold and callous conservatives are right before the midterms.
Yeah. They'll use...
It's crazy how that works, huh? Crazy.
Literally anything, even her husband's attack. It's really unbelievable. As you well know, having been attacked, Larry Elder, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
I'm the black face of white supremacy, Tucker.
That's my favorite attack ever.
Larry Elder, there's something about him just kind of bugs me, but he was not wrong there.
Is the founder and editor of Compact. He says that the problem is deeper. No corporation should have this much power over our freedom to speak. Sir, thanks so much for coming on tonight. So that was my summary of your view. Tell us, what do you conclude from this?
Thanks for having me, Tucker. The great danger in what we've now seen, we all suspected it, of course, all along, but now we have confirmation that shadow banning was happening. The great danger in this isn't that our freedom of speech is suppressed, although that's horrible. And of course, these platforms are where freedom of speech lives or dies, but that the process that allows elite opinion formation is a sealed off bubble. Right? That we hear, for example, that Vladimir Putin doesn't hear alternative views about his worst.
He said that in the same cadence, fucking Kanye, that George Bush doesn't care about black people. I thought I swear to God, I would have bet money he's about to say Vladimir Putin doesn't care about black people.
Strategy in Ukraine, and that's why he makes bad decisions. Well, the same thing happens through a less direct state-directed mechanism in the United States and across the West. It happens through privatized censorship through entities like Twitter, but importantly, not just Twitter, Facebook, etc. If our elites aren't willing to listen to dissident voices of eminent doctors like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, as we now know for sure, then they don't make good decisions. Right, because they're convincing themselves, they're sealing themselves in a bubble, not ultimately that different from the kind of bubble that, you know, a Gaddafi or a Putin create in a different way in their own sort of councils of decision making. So that's the kind of scary part of this, is that our elite are themselves structurally turning themselves into bubble boys.
And into what they say they hate. I mean, I honestly wondered, I don't know the answer, but could Russian media be more controlled than American media is? I mean, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, in 2020, obviously, I was working at the New York Post. That confluence of corporate, big tech, deep state, blue check media all working together, you saw that. in a way, it was sort of more terrifying because there's no center of power. You can say, hey, it's this one person. We can appeal through this recognized process, which is why, Tucker, I think we need to still insist on Section 230 reform. I won't get into the details, but basically the reason Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all these others get away with this is that because of a law in the 1990s that was designed to help them censor things like pornography. It's called the Communications Decency Act. They're using.
Hey, Sim, what do you think of Johnny Walker Gold Reserve? I don't have that, so I don't know.
They're abusing that now to act like publishers, but without bearing any of the traditional publishers' liabilities. And so that has to be changed, because if you and I libel someone, you know, in print or in the media, we face this kind of liability. And of course,
Nunya, what are you making? What are you making?
They do not, and that's why they get to censor. They get to act like.
If I had it over on my shelf, I'd just go crack it open and tell you, but I don't have it, so I can't.
Worldview publishers, but without being bearing any of a traditional publisher's liabilities. That needs to change, because, okay, you know, I'm really grateful. Truly, God bless Elon Musk, but it's not just one company.
Who can afford it? How
these
much?
Others as well.
How much is it? Hold on. Accept and enter. Johnny Walker Gold Reserve. Paste. Search. Okay, we'll just try Johnny Walker Gold. Johnny Walker Gold, $80 bottle, a gold label reserve, $80. 80 proof, 40% ABV. Looks like literally everywhere around here has it. It's probably good. It's Johnny Walker, so it can't be that bad. Alpine Farm cheese, smoked Gouda, and Mott's. Ooh. How do I get in your Discord? It is the pinned comment in the chat. On the new channel, it's the Streamlabs, so if anyone feels like donating, it should be in all 3 chats. Yeah.
They're all sort of monopolistic giants, and we have no pushback mechanism against them. This has to have a structural public policy response.
Sober Mari, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Tucker.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the Biden administration. If you can even believe it, seems like a day. Pete Buttigieg has been there almost the whole time. He was sworn in.
That is the longest 2 years I think I have ever been around for. It feels like it's been a decade.
In early February of 2021. And when he had high hopes. We looked at the tape today. Though he had no previous experience with transportation, or for that matter with secretarial work, Buttigieg held up his right hand and swore an oath to Kamala Harris to be the best darn Secretary of Transportation he could be.
Oh, so that's where he's been. He's making a TV show. Of course. I wish I could get a job and not get paid to, or get paid to not work and make a TV show to get paid with.
And he seemed to mean it, but not for long. Sadly, history soon intervened. Just weeks into the job, Buttigieg discovered that some of the roads he was supposed to be overseeing, the roads he was now secretary of, were in fact racist. And not just low grade, got drunk and wrote an insensitive Facebook post 10 years ago racist. Not that kind of racism, no. These were hardcore David Duke level, nasty old segregationist roads. These were roads that refused to respond to reason and clearly had no intention of changing and joining the 21st century. Some of these roads literally had white stripes painted on them. White stripes.
Oh my God, white stripes?
Jim Crow stuff. Buttigieg seemed shocked by the whole thing. They don't have roads like that back in South Bend, Indiana. So for Pete Buttigieg, it was a pivot point. It was one of those moments of profound disillusionment, so common to high-minded young newcomers to Washington, where everything changes in an instant. All your preconceptions washed away. Here he'd sworn an oath to take care of the roads, but learned the hard way that some roads are beyond repair. They are too racist to fix.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Go back. Yeah. Okay. Copy. And make the again. All right, keep the same goal. Oh, fuck you. Okay. God damn it, Mike. There we go. Now check out that donation goal. You'll fill that bad boy up, huh?
So Pete Buttigieg embarked on another path. He became one of America's foremost religious leaders. As an Episcopalian, it was not an easy transition. Traditionally, members of the clergy
Sinatra, you know the North Olmsted Sportsman Club. I do not.
believe in God. But Buttigieg had a characteristically clever solution, an approach he had learned during his years as a McKinsey consultant. In place of the concept of an omnipotent, loving God who brings justice to the world, Buttigieg simply substituted the word climate. Thanks be to climate. Our climate, who art in heaven, that kind of thing. And it sounded pretty good. Here's one of his sermons.
You talk very openly about being a person of faith. And I want to understand how you connect that to this issue of climate change and our custodianship of the earth and our moral
Custodianship of the earth.
responsibilities.
Climate is a moral issue, and this is about stewardship. It is about justice. There's a moment here where we should invite those who are motivated by religious, moral considerations to know that those are some of the things that are at stake in what we're doing to this planet.
So this was really a milestone in modern Christian theology. Climate, declared Father Buttigieg, is a moral issue, not a meteorological matter, not even a policy topic. It's a moral issue. Climate is a question that bears directly on the fate of your immortal soul. When you mistreat the climate, you risk damnation. Insomuch as you have done to the least of these, you have done it to the climate. Big change. You thought it was about the science. Actually, it's about morality.
It's actually about roads and how there's no product running on them. You notice how people just stopped talking about the, they just completely stopped talking about the supply chain. I noticed. I definitely noticed.
Okay, Reverend Pete. So you set the terms here. So how's your climate record? That seems like a fair question, given that you've just told us that we will go to hell for our carbon emissions. So let's see how you're.
Well, hopefully we can get this bar filled up so Pete knows that we are in favor of racist roads, because guess what? Racist roads carry product, and product makes fucking life easy.
Doing. Fox News Digital just got a hold of the Reverend Pete's travel schedule, a list of trips he's taken since getting the job at the Transportation Department. And it
all right, Brian, send me a link. I'll check it out, man.
turns out that Reverend Pete is the Jimmy Swaggart of climate clergy. He was commanding you not to do it, at the same time he was doing it himself in a very big way. Way more than you've ever thought of doing it. Reverend Pete has sinned, oh boy has he, in a dark and very naughty way. In less than 2 years, Buttigieg has flown private at taxpayer expense nearly 20 times. He's jetted to Ohio and Florida and New Hampshire, among others.
Well, we don't want him. So can we return to sender? This man is here to tell you that you can pray the pollution away, but you can only pray if you're praying to Biden.
Other places. In September, Buttigieg took an FAA jet to a Canadian gay rights ceremony to accept an award for his LGBTQ plus advocacy, something else he's been doing since he gave up on the roads. All this has been extremely expensive for you and every other taxpayer. You may recall that Donald Trump's HHS Secretary, Tom Price, lost his job for doing exactly the same thing. An outraged Politico.com drove him out of office. So it's expensive. But that's not the real crime. The real crime here is against the climate. It's a sin. It's a moral transgression, because none of these planes that Pete Buttigieg was jetting around on were solar powered. Not a single one ran on a windmill or recycled French fry oil. They were all fossil fueled, all of them. And there is likely no mode of transportation in the history of machines that emits more carbon than private air travel. That would include long trips across India on coal-fired locomotives. Private jet travel stands alone. Private jets emit an average of 2 tons of carbon dioxide in an hour. Per hour.
Isn't it weird how all these people, all the climate activists, all have their own private jets, but they're telling you that you can't drive your fucking truck? Get fucked, mate.
For perspective, that's 14 times more carbon emissions per passenger than the JetBlue flight you're on or any other commercial flight. So you might as well start a tire fire to heat your house. That would be better for the...
A user unknown going for the irony. I don't know what irony you're talking about, but thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Traveling by private jet is literally the last
Can we get a big thank you to user unknown? Very generous.
thing that Father Pete should ever do. But we shouldn't be surprised that he's doing it. You may remember that last year, when Pete Buttigieg was busted commuting in a carbon-belching SUV, one of the vehicles that destroys the climate.
56709. Refresh. Of course, I don't talk about the helium shortage for the 3rd time in 3 years. No, everything's fine. And the whole supply lines totally aren't collapsing while the elites get what they need. Totally not happening right now. No, not at all. No. Nah. Nope. No.
Then unloading a bicycle from the back seat for a short, widely photographed ride to the White House. You're seeing that footage on your screen now. Now, that should have been the very first tip that Reverend Pete's sermons and the self-described climate activists who applauded those sermons are all entirely fraudulent. And in fact, they are fraudulent. Roughly half of all emission created by airplanes are emitted by the richest 1% of the population flying private, the great majority of these, Biden voters and big fans of, you guessed it, the Reverend Pete Buttigieg. This year alone, to pick but one among many examples, Steven Spielberg, who said he's terrified of climate change, emitted...
Oh. Good thing I don't give a shit what Steven Spielberg finds scary.
Over 4,400 metric tons of carbon from private jets. How much is that? That's 600 times more emissions than the average person emits in a year. Another climate activist, Taylor Swift, nearly doubled Steven Spielberg's total. 8,000 metric tons of CO2 in a year. All of them destroying the planet.
Oh, 180. Okay, yeah.
Rising the seas, an offense
I should have picked that one up.
against Mother Earth. Now, Taylor Swift justified it by saying, oh, I loan out jets sometimes. Oh, it's okay. But it's not okay, not if you claim to believe in climate change. A 50-minute flight on a private jet can emit as much carbon as the average person's car does over an entire year. 50 minutes. So imagine what a flight from DC to LAX does, or more likely from Hamptons to Aspen. And then imagine thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of these flights, all carrying people who claim they believe that climate change is, quote, existential. It's not a mistake, it's intentional, it's a statement, and it's quite a statement if you think about it. If you're yapping about carbon emissions and climate and then flying private, what you're really doing is hoisting a screaming middle finger to the country, to the plebes below.
Of course that's what they're doing. Do you think they give a shit? Do you think any of these people give a shit what me or you or your mom or your aunt or whatever has to do? Of course not. Of course not.
They're SUVs, which you say you plan to ban. And not just in this country, we've got it easy. The economies of entire nations around the world are being destroyed right now in the name of fighting climate change at the behest of people who fly private. So people are going hungry and freezing to death around the world so that Pete Buttigieg and his friends won't have to walk through the magnetometer at the TSA checkpoint. And we don't mean to single out the Reverend Pete, though he is certainly the most self-righteous of the group. They're all doing it. Is there a single high-level climate activist who doesn't fly private? At the recent climate...
No, of course not. Oh, God damn it. John Kerry is probably the #1 climate activist, and he lives on a private plane. I don't know what these people expect. I genuinely don't. Like, what did you think?
Summit, more than 400 attendees flew in privately, not on JetBlue, in their own planes. Jeff Bezos is one of them. He flew in his private jet. So did Boris Johnson. John Kerry was famously busted flying to a climate summit in Iceland on his personal Gulfstream. But don't worry, he had no choice. He's too important. Watch.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he is, just as I was saying. I'm sure he's not allowed to fly on anything else. He can't just go to fucking Delta and say, okay, yeah, here's my here's my ticket. I can sit normally with normal people. No, we can't do that.
It's the only choice for somebody like me who is traveling the world to win this battle. I believe the time it takes me to get somewhere, I can't sail across the ocean. I have to fly to meet with people and get things done.
Oh, someone like me. You never heard of Zoom, pal? You should be in jail by your own standards. You're a climate criminal. You're a climate criminal. You should be in prison by your own standards. Not just him. Virtually every recognizable person in American politics and entertainment flies private. Nancy Pelosi flies private. Barack Obama flies private. Leonardo DiCaprio, famous, flies private. You know who flies private? A lot? Al Gore flies private. Michael Bloomberg, boy, does he fly private. In a 4-year period, the UN climate envoy, Mr. Bloomberg, took more than 1,700 private flights, burning more than 10,000 metric tons of CO2.
Today is Christmas. Happy birthday.
Michael Bloomberg, boy, does he fly private. In a 4-year period, the UN climate envoy, Mr. Bloomberg, took more than 1,700 private flights, burning more than 10,000 metric tons of CO2.
What was the time frame on that?
Al Gore flies private. Michael Bloomberg, boy, does he fly private. In a 4-year period, the UN climate envoy, Mr. Bloomberg, took more than 1,700 private flights, burning more than 10,000 metric tons of CO2. You could never do that. If you filled your yard with diesel engines and never turned them off, you would not do that. Your car emits less than 5 metric tons of CO2 a year. So this is meaningful. This is an actual offense against Mother Earth and the climate. So you have to wonder what the defenders of climate think of this. What about the climate warriors at Greenpeace and the Sierra Club and the Environmental Defense Fund? Have they noticed this? Not really. Have they scolded their donors for undermining their core message? No, of course not. Catherine Clark, the incoming Democratic Party House Whip, doesn't complain either. She should be, because her own child has nightmares about climate change.
Okay, let me read these out. Sorry. The OCD is overwhelming. Happy Christmas. AWOOOO on me, Sin. Doing okay here. Made tacos for dinner. Yum. I am starving. I tried the Firehouse subs today. Guys, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. All you hyped up, I'm a little disappointed, but it was still good. Thank you, Mad Cat. Woo indeed. User unknown, the OCD is overwhelming. Immediately got fucked up by Matt Barnes. Here's your daily reminder that it's not John Kerry's plane. It's his first wife's, I'm sorry, his wife's first husband's plane. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh, boy. There's no shortage in bossing say. Also, now might not be the best time but the large rail silo for my county caught fire and burned to the ground. So now the whole area smells of burnt popcorn. Ugh. Ugh. Jeez. Thank you, Yeti, Matt, User Unknown, and Madcat. Appreciate it, guys.
Change.
Let me tell you what it means to...
Yeah, you're right. They can't sit with the unwashed masses. And yes, I agree, Ham and Beans. Jersey Mike's is better than Firehouse.
To me, coming in as a different generation, I remember my middle child waking up with nightmares over concern around climate change.
Okay, so you terrorized your own
Dude, that seems like a you issue.
children. You scared the crap out of little kids about climate. So you must be very upset about what Pete Buttigieg is doing to climate by flying private, which is the most destructive thing you can do to climate other than signing off on the sabotage of a Russian natural gas pipeline, which I guess they also did. But who's noticing? But she's not worried about it. Catherine Clark doesn't care, and neither do her donors, including the environmental activists who send her all that money. Meanwhile, a lot of young people are very upset about climate. They believe Pete Buttigieg. And you know what they're doing? They're destroying some of the greatest artwork in Western civilization because they want you to know how important the climate is.
This shit bugs me really fucking bad. This bugs me really bad. Why would you destroy art? All you're doing is turning people against you. This just irritates the shit out of me. Maybe it's because I genuinely like art and I think art is very, very important. But seeing it destroyed, it just enrages me.
It shows the destructive nature of our addiction to oil.
Okay, but these are people who have never left their house. What would you do without oil?
During these times of catastrophic climate change is needed now more than ever.
That's a man in a dress.
What is worth more, art or life?
Art.
We cannot afford new oil and gas. It is going to take everything we know and love.
It's so delicious. A User Unknown for $2.56.36. Fuck it. I'm done with the numbers game. I'm clearing this motherfucker out. Wow, you guys annoyed User Unknown to dropping a bomb. Can we get a huge thank you across all three chats to User Unknown? Incredible, sir. Incredible. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God damn. Now I got to come up with a new thing.
Like that, those thugs, those monsters, the Stalinist mobs didn't appear out of nowhere. It's not organic, of course. They were whipped into a frenzy by John Kerry and Nancy Pelosi and Pete Buttigieg. Those were their inspiration. But what's interesting is they're destroying the things that are most valuable in our society, our art, the legacy of our civilization. But you know what they haven't done? They haven't said a single word about Al Gore's personal Gulfstream or John Kerry's or Pete Buttigieg. Well, that's weird, isn't it? They're attacking our civilization's art, but they're not saying anything about the people who are actually destroying the climate. And you know who else isn't? BlackRock. The ESG score that you keep hearing about? Your flights on private planes have no effect on an ESG score. Really?
There we go. I got a new one up pretty quick. All hail User Unknown indeed. What up, Mr. MK? How you doing, man?
The E is for environment. But BlackRock doesn't say a word. Could it be that the climate movement isn't really about the climate or about the environment?
To play devil's advocate for a second, they ruined a wall and a pane of archival glass. Is archival glass special?
Could it be that the climate movement is really about creating a permanent caste system where the people at the top of society, the Brahmins, can do literally whatever they want, can violate with impunity the standards they impose on others while endlessly lecturing and oppressing the population that supposedly runs the country, but of course actually doesn't? Could it be? Oh, it's possible.
You saw that little alteration there? It worked.
We called Pete Buttigieg's office today and asked how you can justify flying private as the earth warms and the seas rise. How are you not a climate criminal? Speak slowly so we can understand.
Because they don't have to play by the same rules that we do. It protects from light. Interesting. Huh.
Of course, they didn't explain. But the rest of us should impose this as a litmus test going forward. No one who seeks to impose carbon rationing on another human being should ever be allowed to step within 100 yards of a private aircraft. Period. Anyone who claims to be serious about fighting climate change should demand tomorrow morning a federal law against private air travel. Make it illegal. It's that simple. Then go ahead and fly commercial with everyone else or stay home. What's the argument against that? Well, here's what you do know. Anyone who lectures you about climate and opposes banning private air travel is a total fraud and should be ignored. Subscribe to the
But that's accurate. That is true.
Is a name you may recognize. He's a highly decorated Navy SEAL. A decade ago, he became famous because he announced he was transitioning, becoming a woman, calling himself Kristen Beck. CNN made a film about him, and in that film, Chris Beck, at the time identifying as a woman, he admitted that he wasn't sure what the term transgender meant. Why?
The best one was activists glued their hands to a floor at a Germany car show and then complained that they were left to piss their pants. Well, don't do that then. What the fuck? What is wrong with these people? What? Oh, and I see people talking about Cavill because of the Witcher donation, which is it's my favorite one so far. I mean, I like the 500 and the comma is fantastic, but the Witcher is my favorite, I think. It just what I said would come to pass did indeed come to pass. They try to paint Cavill out as some like right-wing gamer gator that's something. And in reality, it was just him trying to stick to the lore material for The Witcher, and they kept trying to deviate from it and wokeify it like I said they would. And he wanted to stick to it and gave him a hard time about it, so he just quit. So yeah, of course. And they were like, he used gamer bro PC gaming language on set talking to his friends. Like, he's talking to his friends. What the fuck do you care?
It's hard to explain. People ask me about that. They say, I don't really understand transgender, and, can you explain it to me? And the only thing I can tell them is, I don't really know what transgender is either. I don't know. I mean, I know what it is. It's this, but I don't know, like, where it comes from or why.
So Chris Beck has had 10 years to think about this, and he looks back and believes and has said that the whole process of transitioning, quote, destroyed his life. In an interview with Robbie Starbuck, Beck said this, quote, everything that happened to me for the last 10 years destroyed my life. I destroyed my life. I'm not a victim. I did this to myself, but I had help. Chris Beck joins us now.
Yeah, I don't think I can sit through this.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight, time for a confession right off the bat. There were times, we will admit it, back in the dark ages of cable news, when we'd milk a single news event for weeks, in some cases, and we're talking to you, O.J. Simpson, for months and months and months. There just wasn't that much going on, so you couldn't afford to waste a good story. That is not the problem we are having these days. The problem now is the opposite, of course. There's too much going on, and some of it's terrifying. In just the last week, China signed a $50 billion trade deal with Saudi Arabia, our old ally, signaling an end to America's longstanding global petro empire. That's not a small thing. Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, who runs Russia, once again threatened to launch a nuclear war on the West. Then Wall Street began laying off large numbers of people, which is not something you can ignore in an industry whose business it is to predict the future of the economy. And at the same time that was happening, the wealth of the average American household dropped to one of the lowest levels ever recorded. The CDC responded by trying to resurrect face masks, because that'll help. Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested. And then the Mexican drug cartels, which run the largest human trafficking operation since the transatlantic slave trade ended, now officially have control of our southern border. So it's been a busy week. In fact, more has happened in this past week than happened during 2 full terms under Bill Clinton. A lot. So if you're running our country right now, you'd be staying up all night, every night, trying to figure out how to respond.
Hold on. I just got to change something here real quick. I just have to, I just got to do a thing. I just got to do a thing, and I promise it'll be good. Fuck, where did that save? Did it really put it in documents? God damn it. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Oh man, this works. Oh man, I hope this works. I really hope this works. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work. Bang, bang, bang. There we go. Oh boy.
But that's not what the Biden administration is doing, not at all. This afternoon, as the old global order collapses to be replaced by God knows what, the Biden people decided to hold a drag event at the White House, just in case you were wondering if...
Yeah, it's not weird at all. It's not unusual. You know, we're dealing with one of the biggest child grooming times ever, so let's host a drag queen hour. That's perfectly fine.
Those comparisons to Weimar were overstated. No, they're not overstated. The occasion for this celebration was the official signing of the Respect for Marriage Act, which the White House tells us will codify gay marriage into law. But wait a moment, you wonder. Wasn't gay marriage legalized by the Supreme Court way back under Barack Obama?
It was. So instead of, you know, doing anything, let's just reapply an old platitude that we can just stand on and go, hey, look, we're doing a thing. This is exactly what I was talking about last night. The entire administration is full of woke distractions. Actual really bad shit is happening. You know, we just approved another $50 billion to go to Ukraine today in an omnibus bill that passed. That's perfectly fine. That's not going to affect inflation at all. But, hey, we made gay marriage legal again. What?
Yeah.
Only one chat got this. It's great.
But they've legalized it again. It's double legal. And you know what that means? That means it's time to hear from Lady Gaga.
It's something that was already legal. We're just going to make it just as legal. All right, guys, here's the big announcement for the channel. I'm going to start to cover Tucker Carlson. Hey, you kind of already do that. Shut up.
Dance party at the White House. Hooray! What's been legal for years is still legal. Break out the White Claw. Cyndi Lauper was there, of course, to celebrate. Cyndi Lauper is going to be 70 years old this spring, meaning she's lived in this country a long time. But until today, until the...
Joe Biden for $1. I challenge Tucker Carlson to a child sniffing contest. Okay.
This afternoon at the White House, under the beneficent gaze of Joe Biden the Great, Cyndi Lauper informed us that Americans were not allowed to love each other. Until today, love was banned. But Joe Biden changed that. And
why does he look like that? I have no idea.
now we're free to love. Watch this and see if you don't.
Guys, I just made an announcement. Why aren't you all clapping in the chat? I need to see 3 chats full of clapping hands.
Choke up just a little.
Our families are validated.
Oh my fucking Lord. Why does she look like a goddamn troll doll?
And because now we're allowed to love who we love, which
were you not allowed to do that yesterday?
Sounds odd to say, but Americans can now love who we love. And bless Joe Biden and all the people that worked on this for allowing people not to worry and their children not to worry.
Who? We are millennials, Gen Z are the most accepting, the most open, accepting, and tolerant generation. We just are. We don't need to be lectured by Cyndi fucking Lawford.
About their...
She has definitely called black people the N-word. I don't care what she says.
Their future.
So guys, fuck her, in conclusion.
Wait, didn't that happen 10 years ago? Well, we checked. That tape is from today. The party was at the White House today. And that means that somewhere, our nuclear disposal friend, Sam Brinton, formerly of the Energy Department, is sitting atop a pile of stolen women's clothes, cursing the fact that airports...
And again, that's another thing nobody really talked about. That's another thing nobody really talked about, is that Biden's nuclear androgynous human being got caught stealing a fuck ton of luggage. It's interesting, huh? Luggage with women's clothes in it, so probably opened it up to check first. The Don for $1. Who put kids in cages, Joe? Yeah, that's a good question. Who's arming Ukraine to send ICBMs into Russia, Joe? Yes. Interesting. Indubitably.
have security cameras in the baggage.
Fuck them kids, bro. Man.
Agreed. Every time you drink a White Claw, Stone Cold Steve Austin is disappointed with you. Yeah. That she was a fog breather.
Claim, damn those cameras. If only Britain hadn't been caught, this would have been like Christmas for him. He could have spent the morning in Cyndi Lauper's dressing room trying to purloin a new halter top. Talk about a missed opportunity. Thankfully, Marty Cummings was there to make up for it. Cummings is a drag star who, like Sam Brinton, has a long history of unfiltered social media posts. F the police, Cummings tweeted.
I'm glad. They're not picking their best people.
In 2020. Yes, we want to defund the police. Yes, we want to abolish ICE. No, we won't settle for anything less. We'll continue to fight for this to happen. End quote. That sounds like Antifa. Well, yeah. And to prove it this year, Cummings promoted something called ACAB Coffee, using the all but copyrighted slogan of Antifa. So here you have an Antifa-friendly drag queen dressing up like a woman and promoting violence. Talk about a perfect White House guest. And of course, Cummings is also interested in children in all the wrong ways. Cummings once tweeted this, quote, "The kids are out to sing and suck."
Wow. So they're just bringing straight pedophiles to the White House. Honestly, I'm really not even surprised with this. This is the least shocking thing to happen in the past 2 weeks, I think. Joe Biden brought somebody to the White House that wants kids to suck his wiener. Yeah, okay. You could, like, this is the least surprising.
To perform fellatio. Oh, okay. Cummings then added, anyone who thinks drag isn't for children is wrong. Cummings then posted this picture with the child, writing, he wants to perform with us next year. So if you think it's unfair to...
But now here's the thing, man, is a lot, and I am personally friends with someone who does drag shows. They are not cool with this, man. It's you should not put this off on all of them, but it is very clear the ones who do want this.
Accuse people of being creepy with kids, not that unfair, actually. Kind of fair. Here was Cummings at a TED Talk in 2019.
But, I mean, this fits right in with Biden and his crew. You got people who steal specifically women's clothing. You have people who just don't do their job but do TV shows instead. Now you have someone who wants to bang children. It's right there.
I learned how the power of a 20-second video can change your life. How a 20-second clip can change your entire worldview. Take a look.
No. We need to send Henry Cavill in here immediately. I need the Witcher in there doing the 110 post haste.
That's me and 2-year-old Brody at my drag brunch in New Jersey.
Geralt, help! Geralt, help!
So a lot of times families come to the brunch because they're not able to go to a regular drag show late at night. And it's a time that kids can
Well, then that's not a thing they should be bringing their fucking kids to.
experience drag.
Disgusting.
Because of Baby Shark, I was able to come to the Pilgrim House and do a series of kids shows.
Yeah, man. I like to think I'm pretty accepting of people's sexuality. I like to think I am really okay with a lot of the stuff happening, even though I might not agree with it personally. Less freedoms has never been a good answer to anything, but I'm really okay with this kind of stuff getting banned. I'm really okay with this.
And I would ask the kids during these shows, I would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And to my surprise, a lot of these kids said they wanted to be a drag queen.
No, the fuck they didn't.
Want to be a drag queen. So that's the guy at the White House today, but not really an anomaly. It was just a month ago the administration invited a guy called Dylan Mulvaney. It's a grown man who identifies as a walking
Dylan Mulvaney is 100% an act. I guarantee it. 100% an act.
Administration invited a guy called Dylan Mulvaney. It's a grown man who identifies as a walking stereotype of a little girl, and he met the president. So what's going on here? Well, multiple things, of course. This is an effort to degrade the country, to make it into a joke. These are people striding through the hallways.
I just need Geralt. I just need Geralt for, how long is that donation? 35 seconds. That's all I need. That's all I need. Dylan is a troll. Dylan is a troll that got invited to the White House, and now he's like, well, I can't not do this now. I just have to do this.
That once were the work area of, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt and FDR. And whenever you think of their policies, these were serious men who stayed up late every night thinking about how to make the country better.
I do the same thing, but I don't make a president's salary for it. Bullshit.
And now there's that guy, and a lot of people like that, and Cyndi Lauper, celebrating gay marriage, which has been legal since the Obama administration. What is going on here? Well, again, it's an effort to degrade the country, but as a political matter, it's a distraction. Offend you so much or mesmerize you so completely that you forget that there are multiple world historic crises unfolding at the same time.
Someone told me recently that one actually went under the knife, looking a bit less trolling. Well, maybe it turned it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. Fuck. I keep forgetting that I have to change the thing on here. God. Okay. Next one that pops up, I'll do it. People bring their kids to the weirdest fucking places. I see people bring their kids into the bar I frequent, despite tits and gore appearing in pretty much all the artwork there. What kind of bar do you go to? That sounds fucking fantastic. And, Christ, I'm an atheist, but suddenly inexplicable urge to commit Holy Crusade. Thanks, Biden. Yeah. It takes a world-class troll to lop off their fun berries. I don't know, man. Nick Ocado is definitely a troll, and he has destroyed his body irreversibly. But I'm not convinced that that's a troll.
Of which the Biden administration caused, none of which it can solve. That's the point. They have no idea.
By the way, thank you, Spookski. How are you? I hope I get to see you more on the new channels.
Idea what to do about the collapse of the post-war order, which is on display, or the continuing slow motion collapse of the American economy, which you feel.
Festonia said, I got the last 110 with the deaf mute singer. Someone else hit this so we can fast forward this abomination, please. I mean, I agree, but yeah.
Because you're
Festonia's out there calling in favors.
poorer than you were last year, and they don't have anything to say to you. Even if they cared, they wouldn't have an answer. Here's a drag show. Welcome to Weimar. Yeah, what happens next? But the point is, you lose any perspective about everything else real that is happening. This is a tactic, and it's not a new tactic, actually. Joe Biden once recognized this tactic because, if nothing else, he knows politics.
He's a damn near killed me. Just using this to watch the damn Baby Shark song out of everyone's ears. Thank you, Dark Will 45. We get a big thank you to Dark Will in the chat. Incredibly generous. Thank you, sir. Festonia is cheering like a motherfucker. Big Gamer Cat says, slay, my good sir.
Clip we were grateful to get. Recognizing that complaining about gay marriage, whatever you think of gay marriage, is a pretty handy way for politicians to distract from their own failures. Here's Joe Biden.
The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines.
Oh man, I forgot about bird flu. That was scary for about 10 minutes.
We don't have enough police officers, and we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay
Who said
marriage.
that? Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle toad cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant? Nobody, huh? The
Very fucking godmother said it. They're so anti-misogynist and anti-sexism that they're trying to erase actual women. A big mystery why I'd rather lift weights and seek to even the playing field the only ways I can. And that is definitely part of it, but I think it's a pincer attack between trying to erase actual women, but also making men, even drag queens, and I guess the term would be cross-dressers, the more feminine women. Like, you never see a trans person being told that they can't wear their high heels and fishnets and not to dress all sexy, but you see regular women that they can't do that. It's the perfect pincer, and most people are playing right into it, and I just popped all those peas right into my microphone. I am so sorry.
Flag amendment, and God only knows what else.
Fucking hell, you can see Biden's sharp decline every time he appears in a video. You know, I've seen people honestly say that this is a different person than the president we have, and no, it's not. That's the same person, but they have just turned. This has got to be just a straight up case of dementia, because now he doesn't even know where he's going when he's just walking around. Transvestite? Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, how can anybody deny it?
I can't believe the American.
Thank you, Spooksky. Bang on point.
People can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman.
So he gets a pass because that was pre-dementia. He has no memory of saying any of that. Now he's just a vessel for the ambitions of others. But that was an interesting insight. People talk about stuff like this, particularly when it's not strictly speaking relevant, because they don't want to talk about other things. And then
man, it is exactly what I've been saying.
Makes it even more interesting that Joe Biden's handlers 16 years later are telling him to talk about gay marriage in drag shows. Anything to distract you. And in fact, at today's bill signing, just to completely pull your attention away from everything else that's going on, Joe Biden came out in favor of both gay marriage, of course, because it's been legal for 10 years, and in favor of the genital mutilation of children.
Well, you have to have a little salt with your pepper, I guess. You have to have a little dash of some other stuff.
We need to challenge the hundreds of callous and cynical laws introduced in the states targeting transgender children, terrifying families, and criminalizing doctors who give children the care they need. We have to protect these children so they know they are loved, and we will stand up for them and say they can seek for themselves.
It's pretty interesting when you think about it. So this is a bill signing affirming the legality, legalizing once again gay marriage, which most people support in this country. Should people get married if they love each other? Yeah, they should. That's fine. Not that controversial a point at this stage. But here's Joe Biden.
Yeah, I don't think anybody gives a shit about gay marriage. There's like four homophobes in the country. They all live in the same zip code somewhere in like Alabama. And we have to stop dictating policy specifically to those fucking 6 people.
Using that opportunity to promote gender-affirming care for kids. And of course, that means the sexual mutilation of children, cutting the breasts off 15-year-olds, sterilizing them for life with chemicals. That's what Boston Children's Hospital and many other hospitals have been doing. Puberty blockers. Have fun with osteoporosis when you're 30. So why would Joe Biden be promoting that, apart from the fact certain special interest groups want him to? Again, this was supposed to be about gay marriage, but here you have Joe Biden, President of the United States, purportedly pushing child sexual mutilation. And then you have, this is even weirder, Kamala Harris out there talking about contraception. Really? What?
What?
For millions of LGBTQI+ Americans and interracial couples, this is a victory, and it is part of a larger fight. The Dobbs decision reminds us that fundamental rights are interconnected, including the right to marry who you love, the right to access.
Because before Kamala Harris got on stage and said all this, you could not do that. You were not allowed to love anybody that something or the other. Like, I genuinely, I don't know what she's getting at with this, but I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's absolutely a reason, and it's not to distract you from all of the stuff we talked about before.
Contraception and the right to make decisions about your own body.
Now we're just confused. The right to buy contraception. Now, no one on this show is a legal scholar, but Griswold versus Connecticut came down in 1967, which affirmed from the High Court the right of Americans to buy contraception. That was 56 years ago.
Huh.
Interracial marriage? That's been legal for our lifetimes. No one's trying to make it illegal. Not one person is pushing to make that illegal. Not one. So here you have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris affirming your right to buy the pill and marry
Affirming your right to do the thing that's already legal. Thank you and good night.
someone of a different race, even though neither right is under attack by anyone. Why are they doing this? Well, it's of a piece with their agenda recently. Remember, this is the same party that pushed through an anti-lynching bill this year. Lynching. Was that on the list?
You know, murder.
It's a major problem. Are there lynchings going on? Wasn't it already illegal? No, we just banned it for the first time. Watch.
The Senate succeeded in taking long overdue action by passing the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. Hallelujah. Congress has finally declared lynching a federal crime.
The people of our nation deserve the protection of a federal anti-lynching law.
Was this a big issue beforehand?
Lynching is not a relic of the past. Racial acts
I mean, it literally is, but
of terror still occur in our nation.
Hate will not prevail in America. White supremacists will not have.
What?
Will not.
Why does he talk like that?
Not prevail in America. White supremacists will not have the
Right, remember.
last word. We cannot remain silent. Silence is complicity. Finally, after all these years, finally made lynching a federal crime.
After all these years, there are a lot of people who are for lynching, but we held off the pro-lynching lobby, and we got this through the Congress. We've improved your life. Really, where are all these lynchings? Where are all these racial acts of terror committed by white supremacists? Search the internet for them. You will see some racial acts of terror. Hard to find a lot committed by white supremacists. Any, maybe. Where are the numbers on that? How many?
Well, I'm interested to know what the last non-faked hate crime was. Like the one that made headlines. Because what, Bubba Wallace? That was fake. Jesse Smollett, that's fake. Then what?
Racial attacks by white supremacists have there been in the last couple of years? Maybe there have been a lot. We're not familiar with that. We're not aware that that actually happened. Pretty sure it didn't actually happen. We do know that nooses have appeared in various places. Do you remember that? There was one at the construction site of Barack Obama's new presidential library. Maybe that's what they're talking about. They offered a six-figure award to catch the person who tied rope in a forbidden shape, but no culprit was ever found. How weird. Then there was that noose in the NASCAR garage. Then there was a noose around Jussie Smollett's neck. Is that the lynching they're banning? The funny thing is, you know that's not real. And most people know it's not real. Why are they continuing to say this? Well, because as actual problems, real problems mount, and they have no answer and no solution, and they're trying to dodge culpability for creating those problems in the first place, they have to double down on fake problems. We're banning lynching. And no one laughed? There's not one person who's for lynching. Bill Melugin and his team, speaking of real problems, just shot this new video of massive crowds of foreign nationals invading our country. Sorry, that's just true. Most of them are not from Mexico. They're from very, very far away across the oceans. And now they're in a Mexican border town across from Brownsville, Texas. And they're waiting there for Title 42 to end in 8 days. And when that happens...
Hey, when that happens, Texas, you're getting a surprise. The last major hate crime was committed by an SUV in Wisconsin against holiday goers. Yep, you're right. I forgot about that. You are absolutely right.
When the Biden administration drops that last piece of legal defense against invasion, it's going to be an overwhelming wave, of course. Maybe that's why they're bringing drag stars and Cyndi Lauper to the White House. Because they don't want to talk about, I don't know, the threat of nuclear war from Vladimir Putin?
President Vladimir Putin, appearing to dash hopes of a diplomatic solution, warns the war will be long and that the risk of a nuclear conflict is on the rise. But he quickly dialed back his language, insisting Russia would only use a nuclear weapon for self-defense, never first.
Oh, yeah, Rachel Dolezal, that was another good one. I heard she had an OnlyFans.
It was more of a reminder than an overt threat. The risk is increasing, he said, adding, "We haven't gone mad. We understand what nuclear weapons are. We are not going to wave it like a razor blade around the world. But of course, we must proceed from the fact that we have it."
So we're now at war, a hot war, not a proxy war, a hot war with Russia. American military personnel, lots of U.S. government employees are in Ukraine fighting that war with American weapons that you paid for. And the guy we're at war with just threatened to use nuclear weapons against us. Now, whatever you think of that war, that's not a story. That's not bigger than banning lynching or legalizing gay marriage again when it was already legal, or legalizing contraception, which has been legal since 1967, or interracial marriage. What? Talk about a head fake. Who's falling for this? Oh, everyone. So...
Everyone who wants to.
Let's say you were...
There's a line in the book I'm reading right now. It said, it's something to the effect of, a good newsletter will tell you what's happening. A great news one will confirm what you already think is happening. I think we're kind of watching that unfold.
Trying to staff a social media site. Who would you hire? Well, obviously, since it's a tech business, you would hire tech people, coders, software engineers to keep the place running. Then you'd hire administrative staff because you had to, some lawyers, a caterer, a flack or two, maybe an interior decorator if you wanted HQ to look good. But how many spies would you hire? Well, probably none. Spies have nothing to do with the mission of a social media company. They would not be needed, and you wouldn't hire any opera singers either. Yet, for some reason, Twitter seemed to need an awful lot of spies. The upper ranks of Twitter, we now know, were absolutely loaded with people who once did intel work for government agencies. At least 15 of these people, and possibly many more. Most of them were hired in the wake of Donald Trump's election. Now, what were these people doing all day at what was supposedly a social media company? Well, that's the question, isn't it? We know that James Baker, who came from the FBI, has been accused of secretly censoring incriminating internal files before Elon Musk could release them to the public. Baker was fired for that. So that's some of what James Baker was doing at Twitter.
Huh, interesting. Huh, weird. Bed posting, IRL.
But how about Charles Smith of Twitter's Trust and Safety Department? Smith joined Twitter after working at U.S. Cyber Command. Or how about Jeff Tokadjer, formerly a director of Naval Counterintelligence? What was he doing? Or Kevin Michelina, or Doug Hunt, or Mark Jaruzelski, or Douglas Turner, or Karen Walsh, Russell Handor, Vincent Lucera. All of these people once worked for the FBI as well. Their colleague Jeff Carlton came from the CIA. Patrick Conlon once worked at the NSA. and so on. And it wasn't just American intel officers who found a home at Twitter. The company hired foreign spies too. In January, Peter Zatko was fired from his position as Twitter's head of security. Reportedly, Zatko lost his job because he complained about the level of control that foreign intelligence agencies had over virtually all of Twitter's operations. According to Zatko, there were...
What'd you think this was American company, you racist? You racist.
Were operatives on Twitter's payroll from other governments, including China and India, and they had access to private user data. And those are just the details that we know about. Elon Musk was asked recently how many former FBI agents are currently employed by Twitter, but he wouldn't say. It's all pretty weird. Could it be that while the rest of us imagined that Twitter was a social media site, a place to vent about politics and sports and the Kardashians?
Guys, again, I hate to have to repeat this because it always pisses off one or two people in the chat. Musk is literally not going to change anything at Twitter. Everything is going to be the exact same way, just with Musk.
Could it be that Twitter was actually, maybe primarily, a propaganda tool and intelligence gathering apparatus for a variety of intel agencies? Well, yes, that's possible. And you can see why various governments would want access to the information that Twitter had. Keep in mind that Twitter's direct message DM feature functioned for many years as a kind of private text app for some of the world's most prominent people. So if you wanted to know what high government officials really thought, or if you wanted to know what well-informed sources were telling reporters off the record, you would want to see those messages. Did Twitter executives ever share those DMs, those private messages, with anyone outside the company without a warrant? We strongly suspect that they did. The proof, of course, resides on Twitter's servers, along with a lot else. Think about it. If Twitter has been functioning as an arm of government intel agencies, and clearly it has been, then its internal documents will contain information about all kinds of things, not just about the silencing of Donald Trump, not just about Tony Fauci's buffoonish lies about the COVID shot. No, information about big history-shaping events, the sabotage of Nord Stream 2, for example, the supposed poison gas attacks in Syria, both of them, the imprisonment of Julian Assange, why is he there? The theft of incriminating emails from the DNC, what was that story? The motive behind the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and much, much more. In other words, Elon Musk now has control of the most significant trove of secret information ever to reside in private hands. So far, we have not seen much of it, and you have to wonder why we haven't. Let's hope that we do. Subscribe.
He's not gonna change anything.
Mike Tyson is not the sort of person we generally interview on this show. He's not a political figure. He's not still boxing. Why did we talk to him? Well, because Mike Tyson has spent almost 40 years at the very pinnacle of American society. And then at the very bottom, he went to prison at one point. He's seen everything. And a lot of people who lead lives like that are destroyed by them. They become numb and insensible, particularly if they're boxers. But a rare few become wise and fascinating and able to communicate what they've learned. And Tyson is definitely in that category. So for a brand new episode of Tucker Carlson today, we sat down with Tyson and we began by asking him, what was it like growing up? Here's part of that.
I'm not ashamed of my I'm really proud of my childhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no advantages.
Yeah, my disadvantage was my advantage.
What do you mean?
My adversity inspired me to be more than what I truly was.
That's one way of looking at it.
I believe that. So you are inspired by Ali, then you go to a different reform school, and they have a former fighter there who trains you. Is that the point when you realize you're going to do this for a living?
Yeah, but this is what, when I came there, I was in another facility on that campus, and I believe I don't want to say I stabbed somebody, but I had an altercation with somebody, so I came.
He's still fucking henched.
When he met me, I had handcuffs, and I'm rearrested, and I was a mess. And so when the guys were talking to me, because they said, well, you're not a bad guy because you did that. So we talked. He said, if we have an ex-fighter, Bobby Steele, you need to meet him. He'll probably get you in shape. And I said, well, I would love to meet him. I met Muhammad Ali. I seen Muhammad Ali once. And then this guy knocks on my door. I heard you want to talk to me. What do you want? I said, I want to be a fighter. He said, everybody wants to be a fighter. You show me you want to be a fighter. Let's just see how your conduct is. And I went from being a really jerky, nasty guy to becoming an A steward.
Really?
Yeah, and then he started training me.
What was it about that? Is the discipline that he imposed?
Yes. I wanted to be a fighter so bad.
If you hadn't become a professional boxer, what would you have done?
There's no doubt. I was going to be that champ.
You knew you were going to be at what age?
13, 14.
And 4 years later, you were.
Man, fuck them kids, bro. Man.
If I had those messages, I would sell them to the highest bidder. I bet that's what Elon's going to do. Saudis, probably.
7 years later.
7 years later. So, when did you meet Customato?
When I was 12. I was at the facility, and the guy drove me to meet him. Because I made my levels in there. I was a trustee now.
Yes.
I was a good kid, a trustee, so I can go to I can get off campus and go visit them.
What was he like?
Total disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Take no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Not a weak man.
No signs of weakness.
Yeah.
No signs of weakness. If you didn't conduct yourself the way he conducted yourself, you're not Italian. He's going to tell you what Italian is. If he saw, like, what are those guys, Paulie Shore, what's the Paulie name? The Italian guys, the Jersey Shore guys, yeah. They're not Italian. I said, cuss, they're Italian. They are not Italian.
Mike Tyson, that's Italian.
He would say something like that. If you don't conduct yourself, Italians only conduct themselves like this. He's not Italian. He was that kind of guy.
Amazing. So
Nothing playful. Nothing playful.
Nothing playful?
We had to tease him, talk behind his back. There's nothing playful about him.
And you liked that?
Hey, you know what? I loved it. Someone cared about me.
Yeah.
And if anybody say something to me, I punch him in the face, attack him.
So interesting. Because most teenage boys...
You don't say nothing about me. He'll attack you physically.
Were you ever afraid?
I was always afraid of him. I'm afraid of him now, like that. He made sure you were afraid of him.
And you liked that?
Listen, we were on the 3rd floor, right? And we're talking crap. Yeah, we're talking about girls and stuff. And then we hear him. He's coming upstairs, and everybody stop talking. And then he comes and said, "Hey, I heard everybody laughing from the 1st floor. I come up here and not laughing. I want to know what's funny. I want to laugh too." Then nothing, because we were just talking. You know, because he was just on our back. Because we told him we were talking about girls. That's what you do. Girls are nothing on your mind. You have to get girls off your mind. How you going to be champion just thinking about girls, okay? So we never told him what we think about. No, because we're not doing nothing. We just up here talking, nothing. Talking about what? I want to know. You guys are all laughing. The whole house is up in the cheers laughing. I want to know. I come on stage and stop laughing. Why? And, you know, the guy, he's scared to death to say anything.
But, I mean, you were like twice as big as him.
No, that don't mean nothing. He had the system of intimidation down like a science.
Really?
He had it down to a science.
How? What were his methods?
Not talking. You know, God language is language without making sounds.
Yeah.
So you understand if he's mad or not.
Look at it.
Notably, Twitter DMs are not encrypted. They are stored in plain text on their servers. This means Twitter employees can freely browse everything anyone said in private conversations. Hired FBI agents could conceivably read it all with no obstacles. I think you mean obstacles. But yeah, yep, that's not weird at all.
Oh, look at me. I'm just a little boy. So happy to be with this guy. Look how big I am at 14.
You were 14 then?
Yeah, look how big I am.
Yeah, you're enormous.
Baby Huey.
So did he, and pardon my bad memory, did he live to see you become...
No, he died a year before. Not even less than a year.
Really?
8, 9 months, something like that.
And he, by that point, I think was your guardian, right?
Yeah, my mother signed me over to him before she died.
How old were you when she died?
16.
16.
Jeez.
So he wasn't just your coach, he was your mentor and your leader.
Yeah, if I didn't make them fight, I still had to be there. You know what I mean? I can't go. I still had to, maybe I had to get a job, but I still had to be there.
Did you live with him?
Yeah, I think I was 13.
You lived at his house?
Yeah.
That's so different.
Hey, listen. Anytime I saw a white guy was a judge, a cop, he was a victim. And I come to this guy's house, and this guy showed me love, And wow, love is powerful.
One of the reasons I wanted to interview you is because you're the author of one of my favorite quotes ever in English, which is, everybody's got a plan till he gets hit in the face.
100%. Because people now, especially now, no one's gonna fight. People like talking now. They get on the stage, they get on YouTube, and they start talking.
Yeah.
And that's why some people are not made for handling criticism. They're just not made for. Some people go off the deep end if you criticize them.
Yes.
Some people just can't handle it. And some of the most powerful people in the world, they just can't handle it. They're not mature enough to handle criticism.
Have you gotten better at handling criticism as you've gotten older?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Yes, but mostly,
Yes, but mostly no.
Yeah, but it's still, it can get even better. Sometimes I get in my head and think I'm somebody.
Look, man, you are. I don't care what he says. He is somebody. Mike Tyson is motherfucking somebody.
And then I'm easily offended. But when I know I'm nobody, I could never be offended.
User 125 for America. 1776. Nice. Thank you.
Boy, is that a deep insight. Sometimes I get in my head that I'm somebody and I'm easily offended, and then I remind myself I'm nobody and I'm not offended.
Exactly, 100%.
Look, Mike Tyson is one of the people who, okay, yeah, he's somebody. He's Mike Tyson.
So
I remember people getting mad at him for being mean. You know, I'll put your mother in a straitjacket, you bitch. I remember that. And they said he was mean. It's like, he punches people in the face for a living. That's kind of what he does. He's a mean guy.
So if you...
It's called... Luna said, it's called being humble. Yeah. But still, it's Mike Tyson.
No, if you're that well known and everywhere you go, people are sucking up to you.
That's true. The humility is why he is somebody. That's true.
And taking pictures with you. How do you remind yourself, as you said, that actually I'm nobody?
Well, I don't know. God did this. I asked for this, and this is what he gave me. It's not like someone gave me something I didn't acquire. I wanted this life. I prayed for this.
Fox, come on, man. This set probably cost you $250,000. You can fix the fucking audio.
Life, and I received it.
When I think I'm somebody, I'm offended. When I remember I'm nobody, I'm not. There's a lot more in that vein. Tomorrow, Tyson talks about his faith and his love of animals, really one of the most remarkable conversations we've ever had. And then he describes how he really felt about the men he fought in the ring over the years. And we'll just give you a preview. I wanted to kill them. But you knew that.
God. Oh. Yeah, we have a fair bit more. Okay, we're going over to Twitch. Let me just get Twitch set up. We're going over to Twitch. Ay. Did I find this new real channel or is some old recording? This is an old recording. This isn't real. This is old. We're not doing this right now. Live. That's not happening. That is not happening. We are not doing this live. This is all fake. Whatever, that'll work. Oh, I guess I can just do that, can't I? Okay, guys, we'll be over to Twitch in a minute. Here's the link to that. Copy. And paste. And paste. And paste. Okay, guys, head on over to Twitch. I'll see you in a minute.